I'd like us to focus on the touch that has occurred in this gospel reading. Jesus heals this woman who had suffered from hemorrhages for some 12 years, and her faith led her to go and say to herself, if I can just touch the fringe of her cloak, I will be made well. So that touch to Jesus does indeed heal her, and Jesus realizes that this miracle has taken place. And he points out that it is her faith that has made her well, her faith in him that has healed her. Then we have another encounter with touch where Jesus goes to this young girl who had passed away. And again, it's the faith of the Father who asked Jesus to come and to lay his hands on her, hoping that something will happen, believing that in fact she will be healed and given new life. And sure enough, as Jesus touches her, he reaches out and touches her hand. That point of contact indeed heals and gives this girl new life. I think that for a lot of people, when it comes to our faith, we have an encounter. We feel touched by God. Either in a moment of prayer, in a moment of our life, we have been touched by Jesus Christ. And that touch, that encounter with the Lord, has healed us, just like this first encounter with the woman struggling with hemorrhages. That first touch was a healing moment. It was a healing moment in our encounter with the Lord, whether it be through prayer, whether it be going through a particular difficulty in our lives, where that moment, that encounter, that touch healed our hearts in a beautiful way. And that has fed us, and we can turn back to that in our faith lives. But there's a second healing that went on in today's gospel, and we are called to be healed and touched by God over and over again, to be healed at a different level, but not just to receive healing, not just because we need healing, but in fact because Christ wants to give us new life and a new mission, because Christ wants to give us new life and a new mission. And we see this with this young girl who had passed away. She is not only healed, again, a second healing in today's gospel, but in fact she is given new life, completely transformed, and indeed sent out on a mission. We hear the last sentence in today's gospel. The report of this spread throughout the district, so immediately that mission started to begin. And imagine, this was a young girl. Her whole life afterwards, it would have been, again, small town, small village. You were that girl, or you were that woman that was healed by Jesus. I remember. I was there with the flute players. I was there when they were singing prayers for you after you had died. I saw it happen too. And so that mission continues, and she would have said, yes, indeed, it was the son of the carpenter that came and visited me, that touched me, that grabbed my hand and healed me and gave me new life. And that would spread, and that would be part of her mission, part of her vocation for the rest of her life. And so too, we can go to God each time seeking healing. Sometimes that's the motive for turning to the Lord in prayer. And of course, he wants to heal us. We see it in both cases, that he does heal and touch these two individuals. But we're called to new life. We're called to a transformation. We're called to join in the mission of sharing the good news of the gospel once we have received new life. So one thing that we should remember is that there's always more. There's always room to grow in our relationship with the Lord. We may think that, well, he's helping me get through this difficult time. We're going to him for healing in that case. Go deeper, go deeper. He wants to give us healing, but he also wants to give us a whole new life and a transformation that will lead us to mission out of the goodness of God's heart, because we have been touched, we have been healed by Jesus Christ in a personal way, and that has completely transformed our life. And for those of us that were here on the weekend here at Blessed Sacrament, I invited Ottawa's newest ordained priest, just 1 month ordained a priest, young guy, young face, 27 years old, joy of life, full of zeal, excited to be a priest. And what did he share? He said that it wasn't the question of a priest saying, would you consider being a priest? Or maybe the example of his family and things like that. They played roles in this development of his vocation, but it was that experience of healing and new life when he realized that Jesus Christ wanted to have a relationship with him in his life, and that changed everything. That was the new life moment that Father Tavis received, and again it sent him out on this mission to share the good news, just like we hear with this young girl who was healed, given new life, and sent on mission. So too are we called to have new life as well as healing, but really new life, a transformation, so that we are sent out on mission.